Swamin namaste natalokabandho karunya sindho patitam bhavabdhau mamuddharatmiya kataksha drishtya rijvyati karunya sudhabhibristya. Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste. Yat kirtanam yat smaranam yadikshanam yad vandanam yat shravanam yadarhanam lokasya sadyo vidhunoti kalmasham tasmai subhadrashravase namo namaha vichakshanaya charanopasadanat sangam vyudasyo bhayatontaratmanah vindantihi brahmagatim gataklamaha tasmai subhadrashravase namo namaha tasmai subhadrashravase namo namaha tasmai subhadrashravase namo namaha. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. So, we were discussing this shloka from the conversations between King Nimi and the Navayogis. The yogi Prabuddha, he is replying to King Nimi's question that, O Lords, please tell me how to become a true devotee and become liberated from this worldly ocean. So he is telling many things, and we reach to this particular shloka, 11.3.25 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarvatratmeshwaran viksham kaivalyam aniketatam vivikta chira vasanam santosham yena kenachit. And as we have been doing, discussing each and every point that the yogi Prabuddha has been saying. And in this shloka, he has said that one must learn from the Guru how to see the presence of the Supreme Being, the Supreme Lord, everywhere as the Lord of all, and also as one's own self. So the seeker or the devotee must constantly, repeatedly try to see God everywhere, in everything, and in oneself. And also this word kaivalyam, that he should habituate himself to live in solitude. Why in solitude? Because generally, if we want to look within ourselves, we want to meditate, then it will be better that we live in a place or stay at least for some time in a place where there is no disturbance by others. Aniketatam, and he should have no attachment for any particular place of residence. Whether he actually has no residence, that is one point, but in the mind, a true devotee should consider every place in this earth or the universe to be the residence, not anything as particular one's own. Why are we reading this? If you would go back and remember, we have seen that the I-ness and mine-ness, these two feelings bind us. And that we always feel fear, tension, anxiety, and lot of suffering because of that, agitations, disturbances. It is only because of this I-ness and mindness. So, the yogi is trying to tell King Nimi by explaining each and every quality that a seeker or a devotee has to cultivate or develop to get rid of this I-ness and mindness so that one becomes liberated. That was the question of the king. So he's saying that aniketatam, even if you live in your palace or it's a small kutir, one must not have any possessiveness or clinging to that place. And any time one must be able to leave that and go somewhere else if there is any necessity, not feel afflicted because of that. Then vivikta chira vasanam. Similarly, one should not be clinging to what dress one wears, particular kind of dress, should be able to be satisfied with whatever one gets. And the next quality is santosham yena kenachit. I think all this we discussed quite in detail in the last session. This santosham yena kenachit. I think the mind will become absolutely restful, tranquil, if we can imbibe this quality. That is, we are satisfied, contented by whatever we get in life, whatever situation we get. We are in whatever situation, whatever things that we need for life, if we are able to be satisfied, then we will be peaceful. So, in Bhagavad Gita also we get santushto yena kenachit. This word comes. So, santosham yena kenachit yadrichalava santushtaha. All these are similar. And how will that come? And we have seen that that will come when we find God everywhere. We find God in everything. So, when everything is one, why are we not contented? Because we find something is different from me, we want to possess, we want to acquire, and as long as we do not possess or acquire, there is a lack of fulfillment, lack of satisfaction, lack of contentment. That is why our mind, in spite of having everything, the mind is not contented. But if we find God or Brahman or the self, that oneness beneath everything, that one essence we are able to catch, we are able to realize, and we habituate ourselves. As a seeker, what we should do? The realized people, they realize the oneness beneath all the diversities. As a seeker or a devotee who is treading the path, what are we supposed to do? We have to reach this state that we become contented with everything. We should try to remember, remind, try to meditate upon, reflect upon, contemplate upon these ideas, these concepts, and slowly we will reach there. And how will we be able to do that? Slowly, our love for this contemplation, love for introspection, love for this path should increase. How will that increase? When we will slowly understand that this world with its various objects cannot give us happiness permanently. It will not. Everything is transitory and perishable, and we are looking for our happiness from those perishable objects of the world. Once we start introspecting, and with using our mind and intelligence, we introspect and understand the futility of all these things that attract us, saying that enjoy me and you will get some happiness. It doesn't happen. So, slowly when we understand that, the mind starts looking for what is permanent, what will remain, what will give us permanent contentment, and that is how we start liking this path, loving this path, loving the introspection that we do, and slowly we progress. So, santosham yena kenachit is that kind of quality which all of us, I think all the other qualities are also there, as I was saying, that if you gain one quality, you will find that other qualities are also increasing. But there are certain qualities which you will find in your day-to-day life. There are so many opportunities to practice this. Just look, just think, in our day-to-day life, always we will be facing such situations which we do not like, and we will be dissatisfied. So how to keep Samatva there? How to still be contented in those situations? So God is actually giving us so many opportunities to test ourselves, to practice these qualities, and we should be grateful to God, grateful that these opportunities are coming our way. And we should be similar or same or equanimous in various situations, like in our likes and dislikes, in our profit and loss, in honor and dishonor, success and failure, in praise and criticism. Like that we can have a big list. And how will this santushti or satisfaction or contentment come? We should be slowly understanding that the worldly objects will not give us contentment or satisfaction, whereas if we are able to find the self which is changeless, which is imperishable, as opposed to the changefulness and perishability of the worldly objects, if we are able to get seated in ourself, we will be contented, peaceful, restful. Atmanyeva atmana tushtaha. So one should be Atmani eva tushtaha. That is, we start looking into ourselves, our real identity. Always we are looking outside and thinking that outside world will give us happiness. Now we understand it will not give. It will give for some time. Maybe that some time may be a long period also. But ultimately it makes us face fear in life, anxiety in life, worry in life. So, better to look inside, to that stable, imperishable, eternal, changeless self. So last time I chanted a sloka where it says, Swasmin sada kridati nandati swayam nirantara ananda rasena triptaha. Look into yourself. There is a fountain of joy there, and rejoice there, sport there, and nirantara, ceaselessly enjoy that amrita, the nectar of joy, bliss, and be contented. Become triptaha. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is one shloka which says, Akinchanasya dantasya shantasya samachetasah maya santushta manasaha sarvaha sukhamaya dishaha. So the one who does not possess anything, tries to be non-possessive, constantly thinks that I possess nothing. Even though there are many things for me to enjoy, to interact, I possess nothing. Everything belongs to God. He remembers that. Dantasya. He has restrained his senses. He has restrained his mind. Shantasya. Samachetasaha. He has attained this samatva of the mind. He has been practicing to be having samatva in all kinds of situations. And maya santushta manasaha, and whose mind is satisfied, contented, thinking about me alone, attaining me alone. We feel, ordinary people feel, that they will be happy and contented and satisfied by acquiring worldly objects. Here, this seeker or devotee, he is feeling and he is santushtaha. By what? Maya santushta manasaha. Santushtaha, he is satisfied and contented by only the thought of God or attaining God. Such a devotee, wherever he looks, for him, there is everything is ananda and ananda. Everywhere it is only peace and happiness. Sarvaha sukhamaya dishaha. So, for a seeker and devotee to reach that state, how do we cultivate it? That becomes the question. This question we will see. This is a state of a person who has been doing his practices, spiritual practices, cultivating all these qualities. And the seeker and a devotee who are treading this path, for them what is to be done? That is what the Yogi Prabuddha is saying, go to the Guru and learn from him. That is, you hear from him these slokas, the explanation of these slokas, become enthusiastic about them, and be inspired to proceed on this path, and every day, little by little, practice them. So what one should do? One should try to be happy in all situations. Whatever situation comes, remember this word, santosham yena kenachit. Suppose a situation has come which you dislike, you are getting agitated. Remember this. Maybe you will fail one day, fail another day, maybe the third day. But try. Slowly we will find that we have achieved it. So, try to be happy in all situations. Whatever is the situation, be alert. That is what I am trying to say, that the situations may try to overpower us by making us agitated, making us disturbed, making us feel either depressed or elated. But be alert and do not be overpowered by them. And be cheerful and smiling always. The cheerfulness and the smile should be such that there is joy radiating from the eyes, from their whole countenance. When we move about, people should feel happy also. It is not that we become happy ourselves. That is why, when we come near the holy people, come near the gurus, we feel happy. We feel quiet and calm. Even if they do not speak to us, just by their look we become shanta. We become absolutely calm and peaceful. Antashitalata, it is called. The whole being becomes calm, joyous, blissful. Becomes light, becomes deep, as if everything has gone away. All kinds of fears, all kinds of anxiety has left us. So when that we can realize, being near the Guru, we should also try to cultivate that. So be smiling and cheerful, radiate happiness, try to give happiness to others. Shower of joy should be there from the eyes. Become a treasure house of Ananda. Become a treasure house. And all these, what did Prabuddha, the yogi, said? The first line was, Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta. In reply to King Nimi's question, he said that, my dear king, to cultivate these qualities, you should go to the Guru. And go to the Guru. By going to the Guru, what do? We are listening to him. He may be explaining many things. He may be talking about the Shastras, telling about something or other. But we should watch him. We should try to find these qualities in him and must imbibe these qualities. About this Santosham Yena Kenachit, Baba had written to me. I was very young at that time. I was writing letters to Baba, Pujya Swamiji's Gurudev. I also was initiated by him in the beginning. So I used to write to him. He wrote to me in one of the letters that Sukha and Dukkha are both one's creation. One may be staying in the palace, eating delicious food, variety of food, but may be crying. And another has no house to stay, lives under a tree, and eats only flattened rice, but is joyous all the time. He is contented all the time. I have told you one story when a beggar had come long time back, and seeing his fate, very old, very poor, certain things he asked for. He was sick, he wanted to go to Calicut, and there the treatment, medicines, everything was free. Only thing he needed was the fare of the train. He asked for that money. So I gave. And thinking that he is going to be treated in a hospital, gives one bedsheet, one dhoti, one towel, thinking those will be helpful for him. Made a small packet. And when I gave it to him, he was very grateful. And he in fact started expressing his gratefulness, started shedding tears even, that he never thought of coming to this side, but somebody said that there is an ashram, you may get what you want. He was very grateful, having got the money and some little things that we gave. He was expressing his gratefulness. At that time, I noticed his chappals, 2 torn chappals, tied together with safety pin. Both the feet were having different chappals, absolutely torn. His nails were big nails, full of dirt. His eyes were full of deposits at the corners, no oil in his hair, wrinkles all over the face, and the hands were shaking. He was holding a stick and holding the packet that we had given. Seeing that, we had some new chappal, brought the chappals in another packet, and thinking he must be very hungry, brought some plantain to give him. He said, "No, mother, Madi, enough. I don't need. This is enough for me. Whatever I wanted, I have got. You have given me more than what is necessary. Madi, this is enough." He did not accept, turned round and slowly went off. Yadrichha labha santushtaha. That day, that sloka was coming to my mind, what I told you in the last session about Bhartrihari's sloka. Whosoever's mind has huge desire, they are the poor. Manasicha paritushte korthavan ko daridraha. They are poor if the mind is full of desires. If mind is absolutely contented, then who is a rich man and who is a poor man? The mind, the contentment in quantity, quality, it is the same. So, this one particular thing, I think this santosham yena kenachit, or if you can call it yadrichalabha santushta, all these qualities we should try to develop as far as possible, every moment, samatha, seeing God everywhere, feeling that the same self is everywhere, and this santosham. I think all of the qualities will come very easily. The next is Shraddham Bhagavate Shastre Anindam Anyatra Chapihi Manovak Karma Dandam Cha Satyam Shamadamavapi Shraddham Bhagavate Shastre Anindam Anyatra Chapihi Manova karma dandam cha satyam shamadamavapi. Bhagavate Shastre Shraddham. That is, the seeker or devotee should have firm faith in the scriptures. Here it is said Bhagavate Shastre, devotional texts. And Anyatra cha apihi anindam, and should not have any other attitude of thinking that other texts are not that good, that kind of a feeling. One should not have any kind of such attitude towards the sacred text which talks about maybe not devotion, maybe it is talking about jnana, or maybe sometimes, Bhagavata is talking about Krishna, there may be some sacred text which is talking about Shiva. So one should not make differences and should not have criticism about the other sacred text. Manaha vak karma dandam. He should learn to control the mind, speech and actions. Constantly the mind should be restrained, the speech should be restrained, and the activities, the actions that we do should be restrained. Restraint means what? Whatever is conducive for our growth in our practice, we should do that. Whatever is not, we should not do that. So that means constant introspection to understand what is good and what is not. What is true, what is false. This constant introspection is absolutely necessary. See, in Vedanta also it is constant vichara. Nitya vastu vivekaha. And here also, for any devotee or seeker, without vichara, without introspection, one cannot grow. So that is why again and again this point comes. Should we only read? Should we only listen? Should we only do kirtana? Should we only do bhajana? Chanting? Early in the morning we get up, take bath, chant this shloka, and then close everything and go to your office. That doesn't mean anything. Yes, discipline-wise it is okay. But if we do not do introspection, it has no meaning. Introspection is a must. By doing this, am I progressing? Is my liking and attraction for the worldliness, is it decreasing? Is my liking to know the self or God, is it increasing? See, the other day somebody was saying, I asked, you like to, one devotee had come here, so very happy, spent some few days. So I asked the devotee, you are very happy to come here and you look also so happy. What do you get here? So the devotee's eyes became, sparkling with joy. Oh, what I get here I don't get anywhere. It cannot be expressed. So I was just listening. Then the devotee said, but I still have attachments. I'm thinking about my family, I think about such and such a niece of mine, such and such things in the house. I do not know. All these things are very much there in my mind. So, I feel that there is a lack. So I was telling her, why don't you ask Swamiji what you should do so that the mind is not 75% in the world and 25% only in this path. So introspection is necessary. Why with so many years of association, so many years of reading and listening, the mind still is 75% in the world and worldly attractions, and it doesn't grow beyond 25%. So, manaha vak karma dandam. Learn to control the mind, speech and actions. Satyam shama damau apicha. So, and he should hold on to truth. Again, the shama is again the restraint of mind, regulation of mind, and dhamma is regulation of the senses. Now, we can go one word by word. Shraddha. First it says, the shloka is, Shraddham Bhagavate Shastre. What is this Shraddha? What is this Shraddha? Shraddha is when we have a faith and whatever we want to achieve and we can't give an importance, we want to know, we apply our mind and application, intelligence. So assiduous application of mind and intelligence. Assiduous application. That is completely the mind and intelligence should have a love for it, focused on it. And here in this sloka it says, Shraddham Bhagavate Shastre. In the Bhagavata, when you read the Bhagavatam, it starts with, in Naimisharanyam, a Brahma Satra is going on. There are many holy people, saints, sages, etc., etc. There the Suta comes. So all of them get up, they worship him, make him sit, and then they say that, please tell us, you have been roaming about everywhere, and we hear that you were there when Bhagavatam was told. So please tell us about it. Whatever you feel is the essence of dharma, please tell us. There is one word there. Bruhina shraddadhananam yenatma samprasidati. Bruhi naha shraddadhananam. O Lord, after having worshipped Suta, they are all telling him with folded hands, please tell us, we who are having Shraddha to listen. Shraddha to listen. And we know, whatever he will say, then with that, our mind will become calm. Yena atma samprasidati. Not only prasidati, prasada means calmness, tranquility. Samprasidati. Absolutely, it will become tranquil. So, bruhina shraddadhananam. So, this shraddha comes, we must have that kind of a shraddha, the firm faith. So, in this, it is talking about the Bhagavata Shastra. So, have faith in the Shastra and the Guru. In Vivek Chudamani, there is that very famous sloka, Shastrasya Guruvakyasya Satya Buddhyavadharanam Sa Shraddha Kathita Sadbhihi Yaya Vastu Palabhyate. Who is telling whom? So the Guru is telling. Shastrasya Guruvakyasya Satya Buddhyavadharanam. So Satya Buddhi Avadharanam is complete acceptance and having firm faith in what the Guru says, what the Shastras speak of, and what the Guru says, complete faith in that. And the holy people, having had that Shraddha, they know that if they have this faith, then they will be able to know Vastu, which is the reality, or what is the truth. Only by having that kind of a Shraddha, the firm faith, that is, whatever the Shastras are saying, have a firm faith and belief that that is the truth. You can ask questions if you have not understood, but you should not have that feeling that this is not the truth. Shastras we must accept with firm belief, and also the Guru's words. Why? The Guru also will speak only the Shastras. Guru will not speak. If he is a Sadguru, he will speak only what is there in the Shastras. Maybe he will explain it in various manner according to the mind and intelligence of the devotees and disciples who are in front of him. But he will speak only of the truth which are the Shastras. Now, so one must listen and read with full Shraddha, full concentration. Always have a feeling that what are being said is the truth and is divine. Whatever is being told about God is true, because God is Sarva and Sarvatma. So one must learn this Shraddha from the Guru. Why? How will you learn? Again, I remind you that the Prabuddha Yogi is telling, learn from the Guru. Go to the Guru and learn these things. So he says, Shraddham Bhagavate Shastre. Learn from the Guru to have Shraddha in the Bhagavata Shastra. And how will you learn from the Guru? When we go near the Guru, we see how he has firm faith in the scriptures. He never falls from the scriptural knowledge. He is seated in the scriptural knowledge, spiritual knowledge. So looking at him, hearing him, understanding him, we also must have the same belief and same faith. See, in Bhagavata, the Srimad Bhagavatam, I am taking the slokas from Srimad Bhagavatam. You know how it has been described, Srimad Bhagavatam, what it is. Adi madhyavasaneshu vairagyakhyana samyutam harilila kathavrata amritanandita satsuram Adi madhyavasaneshu vairagyakhyana samyutam Harilila kathavrata amritanandita satsuram Adi madhya avasaneshu. Adi means beginning, madhya is middle, avasana means at the end. So from beginning to end, including the middle, vairagyakhyana samyutam. What is this Bhagavatam? The Bhagavatam is in the beginning, in the middle, in the end. It is full of narrations which generate renunciation. Renunciation. Vairagya akhyana samyutam. People will say it is a devotional text. But through everything, every narration in Bhagavatam, if we read or listen and we introspect or reflect, what will be generated is devotion, bhakti, virakti, bhagavat prabodha. That is devotion, true devotion, pure devotion for the Lord, for the Supreme will be generated. And pure devotion means what? Not the impure one. What is impure devotion? Your devotion is 75% towards the world and only 25% for God. That is how mostly people are. It may be a little percentage difference may be there. Not like that. Pure devotion. You are in the middle of the world. You are doing everything. You have a family. You have a job. You have to look after your family. Bring up your children. Earn some money. Do every work. But your love is for God. You know that God is everything. All that you are doing is only because of God and God alone. So that feeling, being absolutely having that faith and being established in that faith, that is pure devotion. So what happens? When we read Bhagavatam, the love for God increases. Devotion increases. It becomes purer and purer. And because of that devotion, which increases for God, which decreases for the world, that is called Vairagya. Vairagya to the world. So Vairagya gets generated. And it contains what? Hari Leela Katha Vrata Amrita. It contains of accounts of the divine. Srimad Bhagavatam is mostly about Sri Hari, the avatars, Sri Krishna, his birth to his passing off, his upadesha, his instructions at the end to his dear friend and disciple Uddhava. So those accounts which are divine, those are the accounts of his divine sports, whatever he did, his glories, his sports, everything, his excellences. Those are like Amrita. Amrita. Hari Leela Katha Vrata Amrita. My dear children, Srimad Bhagavatam is like that. If you really read it for a little bit. Go slowly. Whichever portion, some descriptive portions are there, if you don't like, skip them. Read the devotional part. It is fully nectarine. Amrita, Amrita. But just don't stop there. Just don't feel it and go forward. Introspect over it. What it is, how can I get it? How can I be bathed by it? How can I become pure like these devotees, like these seekers? So Amrita, that is the nectar. Anandita Satsuram. And if you read the Bhagavatam or you listen to them, what happens? Anandita Satsuram. So by all this, which is beginning, a middle and end, it contains narrations which generate Vairagya. Narrations of what? Accounts of the Leela Katha of the Lord, which delights by its nectarine nature, it delights Sat Suram. Sat are the holy people and Suram Devas. So it is like that. Also, it is not only devotion. Just see what it says. Sarva Vedanta Saram Yat Brahmatmaikatva Lakshanam Vastadvitiyam Tannishtham Kaivalyaika Prayojanam Sarva Vedanta Saram Yat Brahmatmaikatva Lakshanam Vastadvitiyam Tannishtham Kaivalyaika Prayojanam. It says that more or less Bhagavatam is like this. But though it contains the accounts of the Lord, his sportive accounts, his deeds, his excellences, his glory, it contains the stories of true devotees. What is devotion? It is all nectar. But in the guise of that, what is Bhagavatam? Sarva Vedanta Saram Yat. It is the essence of Vedanta. Brahmatmaikatva lakshanam. And it is characterized by the unity of the Atma and the Brahman. All our Vedanta texts only say that. That realize your own self and know that your self is the universal self. Brahma and Atma ekatva has to be understood. This is Vedanta. Vastu advitiyam. And it is also characterized by the truth or the reality of non-duality. The truth is a non-dual truth, one without a second. One without a second, not even one. When we say one, the thought of two comes, three comes. So one without a second, that is, it is sama. It is only one consciousness. Nothing else. It is sama. Vastu advitiyam. Advitiyam is non-dual. Tannishtham. So in Bhagavatam, these are the things which are there. It is Sarva Vedanta Saram, which talks about Brahmatmaikatva Lakshanam, Vastu Advitiyam, and Tannishtham. The prime subject matter is only that. Whatever stories and other things are there, ultimately it is talking about this. The Advitiyata, Advitiya Vastu, the supreme reality, the ultimate reality, it is talking about. And what is the goal? Kaivalya Eka Prayojanam. Kaivalya Eka Prayojanam. Its ultimate purpose is liberation. Liberation. So Bhagavatam, the goal is liberation. Not to tell stories. Through everything Vedanta has been told. Vedanta has been told. See, in Brahmatmaikatva Lakshanam, in Viveka Chudamani, what Shankaracharya is saying, na yogena, na sankhyena, karmana, no na vidyaya, Brahmatmaikatva bodhena, moksha siddhyati, nanyatha. Neither by yoga, na yogena, na sankhyena, nor by sankhya, karmana no, nor by work, na vidyaya, nor by learning. That is not by all these things. You may be a yogic practitioner, you may be a sankhyaite, you may be doing only your karma yogi, nor even by learning, by scholarship, you can attain liberation. You cannot attain. It can be attained by realization of one's own identity with Brahman alone. Brahmatmaikatva bodhena moksha siddhyati. Then he is not stopped there. He said, nanyatha, na anyatha. Shankaracharya is saying that not by this, but by this alone, and goes a step forward by saying, not by anything else. Nanyatha. So, this shloka, Sarva Vedanta Saram Yat Brahmatmaikatva Lakshanam, in Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavatam, it is Brahmatmaikatva Lakshanam which has been constantly discussed. It is the Sarva Vedanta Saram. And Tannishtham, it is a prime subject matter. Actually, one must know how to read it, how to reflect upon them. That is why it is said, Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta. Go to the Guru. Understand how to read. Understand how you should introspect. How you should bring about these qualities. Also, Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam Yasmin Paramahamsyam Ekam Amalam jnanam param giyate tatra jnana viraga bhakti sahitam naishkarmyam avishkritam yat shrinvan vipathan vicharana paro bhaktya vimucchen naraha. What we were doing? Shraddham Bhagavate Shastre. Even though the Shastra is Bhagavata or a devotional text, one must have Shraddha. And what is what kind of a devotional text? Which is nothing but having this Vedanta as its essence, which is only telling us about Brahmatmaikatva Lakshana or Brahmatmaikatva, that unity of the self and the Brahman. And this Bhagavatam is a sacred Purana. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam. It is a pure Purana, sacred. And Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. It is very dear, Priyam, to all the devotees of the Supreme Lord. Vaishnavanam. Vaishnava, who are Vaishnavas? Those who are devoted to Lord Vishnu. All devotees. It is a Purana which is very sacred, very pure, and Priya to the devotees of the Lord. Yasmin Paramahamsyam ekam amalam jnanam param giyate. And it exalts the supreme state of knowledge. Paramahamsam jnanam. Supreme state of knowledge, which characterizing the Paramahamsa. The Paramahamsas who have realized souls, about them it is telling in this Purana. Also, tatra jnana viraga bhakti sahitam. It expounds the state of naishkarmyam avishkritam. Jnana viraga bhakti sahitam naishkarmyam avishkritam. It is not only talking about the Paramahamsyas, those who have reached the exalted state of spiritual knowledge. It also talks about the state of Naishkarmya, egolessness, accompanied by what? Jnana, Viraga and Bhakti. That is knowledge, dispassion and devotion. And Yat Shrinvan. So Srimad Bhagavatam is like that. In various ways, I have taken 3 shlokas to explain what this devotional text is. You know, we'll come to that. What is that? Shraddham Bhagavate Shastre Anindam Anyatra Chapihi. Many will poo-poo devotional texts. Only the texts of like Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads or any other Vedanta Prakaranas, one will give lot of importance. It is true. But one should not feel that this is something not up to the mark. See what it has written. And it expounds the state of egolessness, that is Naishkarmya Mahavishkritam Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam. Bhakti, Virakti and Bhagavat Prabodhaha. All these are generated. Yat Shrinvan, hearing this text, Vipathan, not only hearing, reading it oneself, not stopping at that, Vicharana Paraha, Yat Shrinvan, hearing, Vipathan, reading. After that, what we should do? Vicharana Paraha. That is most important. Any text we read, anything we read, we must reflect and ruminate over that text, over what knowledge it is giving us. It should become ours. The knowledge becomes ours when we introspect over, reflect over, contemplate upon. Yachrinvan vipatan vicharana paro bhaktya vimuchyen naraha. So if somebody hears it, that is, listens to it, reads it, and after that introspects or ruminates over it, then one gains liberation from samsara by getting supreme devotion. Supreme devotion. This is what is the Bhagavata Shastra. And it also says, Tadeva Satyam Taduhaiva Mangalam. That is the Satya. It is the truth. It tells the truth. It is auspiciousness. Tadeva Punyam Bhagavad Gunodayam. And it is Punya. Tadeva Ramyam Ruchiram Navam Navam. It is beautiful. It is tasty. And Navam Navam. See, anything may be beautiful, anything may be tasty. But the beauty and the taste does not remain forever. But what is this? This text, it says, Tadeva Ramyam Ruchiram Navam Navam Tadeva Shashvan Manaso Mahotsavam. It says it is not only beautiful, not only tasty, but it has a newness every time. It is always new. It never becomes old. And Tad Eva, also it is Manasaha Shashvat Mahotsavam. For the mind, it is a Shashvata Mahotsavam. What is Shashvata? Imperishable. Imperishable Mahotsavam. Imperishable Mahotsavam it is. All our Mahotsava, Utsavas and Mahotsavas. See, Utsavas are festivals, Mahotsavas are festivals which continue for a long time. But all are what? They will finish, get over at some time. They are not eternal. They are transitory, perishable. But this one, it says, if you read Bhagavatam and the knowledge that you get from there, read and vicharana paraha, if you do vichara over what you have read, you will gain supreme devotion, and by that what will happen? You will be liberated. How that happens? Because when you do that, you understand the beauty, the taste, which is new and new every time. And it is, for the mind, it is an eternal festival. Eternal festival. All festivals are over one day, but this is an eternal festival for the mind. What does it mean? Blissful to the core. Bliss and bliss and bliss, unending bliss, everlasting bliss. My dear children, can you tell anything in this earth which will give us unending happiness? Is there anything there? Nothing gives us unending happiness. We may get something. Certain things, the happiness is over within no time. For certain things, the happiness may be lingering for a long time. But still it will end. It will not, it's not everlasting. But this is everlasting. This knowledge, this devotion, what we get from here is everlasting happiness, everlasting blissfulness. And that is what we want. Not that there won't be anything which we do not like, we won't be facing that. The world will come with all its waves, but we will know how to flow in that blissful ocean. We will be surrounded by that blissful ocean. We will be in the midst of that blissful fountain. That is what it is promising us constantly. Tadeva sat, tadeva ramyam ruchiram navam navam, tadeva shashvan manaso mahotsavam, Tadeva shokarnava shoshanam nrinam yaduttama shloka yasho nugiyate. This text, it is full of such accounts and narratives by which the mind gets filled with this Shashvata, eternal blissfulness, Mahotsavam. And by that what happens? Shokarnava shoshanam. All the shoka of the mind, the sufferings of the mind, afflictions of the mind, agitations of the mind, disturbances of the mind, everything is dried up. Shokarnava. See? Shoka Arnava. Arnava means ocean. Ocean of suffering. If we look properly, we'll find that our minds are always burdened with something or other. Very rarely we feel light. So we are always in this Shoka Arnava. And what these texts are going to do? Drying up all that ocean. Ocean of what? Not water. Ocean of suffering. Ocean of tension. Ocean of fear. Ocean of anxiety. Unhappiness. Afflictions. Is going to dry up everything and give you what? Give you a blissful ocean where you can float, remain happy always, liberated from the shackles of the mind and intelligence. We are bound by this, our fears, our anxieties, our plans, unfulfilled desires. We are bound by that. All that we expect and desire in our life. We have a particular plan for our life. Many things do not happen. Many things what happen we do not like. We are bound by that. Constricted we are. And it gives us absolute liberation. But for that, we have to love this. The percentage should become more and more towards this and not the world. That is what a seeker or a devotee has to constantly judge, analyze, assess. Shoka moha bhayapaha. Bhagavatam is termed as tapatrayon moolam. All the tapatraya. We have got three kinds of dukkhas. What is that? Adhidaivika, Adhibhautika and Adhyatmika. What is Adhidaivika? Which happens because of the nature. That is earthquake, hurricane, then very huge storms like cyclones, typhoons, etc. Floods, all those natures. We cannot do anything. When it will come, cloudbursts, so many people will die. We have no control over that. Adi Bhautika is by dukkha or the unhappiness or sorrow brought about by other creatures. Say dog bite, snake bite, murders, all those things. And accidents. And even if one escapes these two in one's own lifetime, the third, the Adhyatmika, one cannot escape. One grows with it. Adhyatmika dukkha. What is Adhyatmika dukkha? The sorrow and suffering because of one's own mind and intelligence. By our traits, undesirable traits, our anger, irritation, impatience, intolerance, hatefulness, dislike, criticism of others, fault-finding, blamingness, all those things. We have these traits and we suffer in the hands of these. And intelligence, indecision, confusion, all those things we suffer in the hands of our own mind and intelligence. So this, it says, Bhagavata is tapatrayonmoolanam. These are called tapatraya. Adhidaivika, Adhibhautika and Adhyatmika. This tapatraya unmoolanam. Unmoolanam means it will uproot everything. So, this Bhagavata's text, it uproots these dukkhas. That is how you become, you will be swimming in the blissful ocean of bliss. And it takes away shoka, moha, bhayapaha. Shoka is sorrow, moha is delusion, bhaya is fear. These three, we are the victims of these three in our lives. Shoka is sorrow, suffering, affliction. Moha is delusion and bhaya is fear. So all these. Now, so Shraddha, we must have Shraddha. And how the Shraddha will come? In Bhagavate Shastra, see, we are reading the Bhagavata Shastra. Just reading and knowing the shlokas and maybe introspecting also. But the glory of this text should be understood. Glory of this text. That is why I took all these shlokas. What it is actually. Then it says, Anindam anyatra chapihi. You must not, you are having Shraddha in this text. You must not have Ninda for other texts. That is, you criticize other texts. You like this one so much that you feel that all others are unnecessary. Oh, that does nothing. I am very much helped by this shloka, this text. Those things are bogus. No. We should not be finding fault or should not criticize any text. All the texts are sacred. So, each text is sacred. And various people will have attunement to various texts. Let them have it. But the goal is only one, liberation. Whether you read A, B, C, D, whatever you read, your goal should be liberation. And the text goal also is liberation. You should know how to read it, how to reflect upon it, how to contemplate upon the text, and how to bring about these qualities so that your mind becomes slowly wholesome, coming away from the worldliness to the knowledge or devotion. So, the goal is liberation. Shraddha should be the same. Whether you read any of the texts, the Shraddha should be the same. Otherwise also, since the word Ninda, Aninda has come, otherwise also, one should not be having a quality or a trait of criticizing. Criticizing, blaming, fault finding, those are very bad traits. By criticizing, what do? We are thinking on something, especially for a seeker or a devotee, to be criticizing anything. Whether it is a person or a text or anything, anybody's action, anybody's behavior. When we criticize, what happens? Our mind gets diverted from our goal. Our goal is a pure goal. To have pure knowledge, to have pure devotion, to have pure Shraddha. It moves from there and goes to something else. The mind will be brooding over that. Somebody's action, somebody's behavior, somebody's talk, or some happening, something which you did not have, you did not get something which was due to you. So, criticism is absolutely to be avoided. Whatever one criticizes about, you will find that trait comes in. If we brood over something in a criticizing manner, fault-finding manner, you will find that after some time your mind will be only dwelling on that. So how to get rid of that? By introspection again. We must think, as my mind is fault-finding or blaming or criticizing, who knows? My some behavior, my some action is being criticized by others. So this kind of introspection. And this one sloka, for remedy for all these things. What are we through this, all these qualities, what are we really going to attain? We are slowly stepping forward to more and more purity, more and more sattvika guna. So, one sloka is very good. Anyasya dosha guna chintanam ashu muktva seva katha rasamaho nitaram pibatvam. Anyasya dosha guna chintanam ashu muktva seva katha rasamaho nitaram pibatvam. It says that keep as a watchword. We should not be criticizing. My dear children, if we look into ourselves, we'll find, most of us, the mind is given to criticizing. Mind is given to blaming situations, people, persons, everything. Mind is given to fault finding, very much, grumbling. All these are not conducive for going forward in sadhana. So, how to get over this? Anyasya dosha guna chintanam ashu muktva. Do not think of anybody's fault or even anybody's good qualities. Do not think about anything, but always drink the nectar about the lives of holy people, the true devotees. Who will be the holy people, the true devotees? They will have lot of good qualities. So when we deal on the good qualities, automatically from the mind, bad qualities, bad traits from our mind will go away. It happens when we read some story about somebody has helped somebody. Immediately the mind becomes calm, sweet, light. We also feel like doing some service to somebody, to be of help to somebody. So, to get rid of all these negative qualities or undesirable qualities, we must, instead of dwelling on them, read about the lives of such people who have great values, virtues and qualities. Then, Mano Shraddham Bhagavate Shastre Anindam Anyatra Chapi Mano Vak Karma Dandam Cha Satyam Shamadamavapi. So, Mano Vak Karma Dandam, that is, the restraint of the mind. Vak is speech and karma is action. We know, all of us know, our mind plays havoc with us. Even though we want to become calm, the mind will bring in such thoughts. Even when somebody sits for meditation, the whole day so many things are from the past, so many things will come and disturb us. How to restrain that? Similarly, how to restrain speech? Mostly we speak unnecessarily. We speak such things by which somebody is hurt. Our actions, many times with our actions we hurt people. And the actions are not conducive or productive for our sadhana. How to restrain this? It says, see, the word used is danda. What is the stick by which we can restrain? Whether a stick is necessary. What kind of discipline by which the mind, the speech and the actions can be restrained. We'll do it in the next session. These are all very interesting. By this, we become energized. By what way? If you are sincere, just by this mano vak karma dandam, start thinking yourself and then compare with the book. First we will see how the mind behaves. Absolutely doesn't listen to us. We are the victims. We are not the masters. We become the slaves. Whether it is the mind, whether it is our speech, whether it is our actions, whether it are interactions, very rarely we are able to control. But we have to control. That goal should be there. So what are the disciplines? So the Prabuddha Yogi is telling us. We'll do it next time. Sampurnam Jagadeva Nandanavanam Sarvepi Kalpadrumaha Gangam Vari Samasta Vari Nivaha Punyas Samasta Kriyaha Vacha Prakrita Samskrita Shruti Shiro Varanasi Medini Sarvavasthitirasya vastu vishaya drishti parabrahmani Sarvavasthitirasya vastu vishaya drishti parabrahmani. Jai Guru, Jai Guru.